you and a heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha, would like to thank all of you for liking and subscribing to our Spotify and our YouTube channels. In case you have not Spotified or subscribed to our Spotify channel, please do so that you can listen to all the videos at one go. And thank you very much for writing and commenting and suggesting on our channels. Today, we are going to talk about a combination of Saturn and Venus. Best friends, yoga karaka for each other's lagna, and the lord of the 2nd and the 11th house of the natural zodiac, making it one of those beautiful combinations as far as money is concerned. So together they form the planet of value in the chart of the natural Kalpurush Kundali. Taking this hint forward, when we have the combination of Saturn and Venus in our chart, money becomes a forgiven issue. That is, money is not a problem in our chart. So let us first move into the genre and see as to how we will be able to assess a number of components when Saturn and Venus are together in our chart. So as we move forward and we talk about the Saturn and Venus conjunction, we first take an eye and see what Saturn represents for us. For us, Saturn essentially means service. Saturn also means old age, because Saturn in our Shastras is said to be an old planet. Saturn is the Karmakaraka, is the Kal or time for us. And Saturn is said to be old, is said to walk at a very slow pace, or rather shiny. That means slowly and slowly. So the work that Saturn would represent in your life, the houses that Saturn would represent in your life, could get delayed because of its ability or non-ability to move very fast. And Saturn is said to be a dark planet. So much about Saturn, but we also need to know certain fundamentals. Saturn is said to be the 10th lord of the natural zodiac, the sign of Capricorn, a sign which deals with business. It's an Eartha sign, a sign which deals with business, a sign which deals with your professional life, and a sign which deals with money. Then Saturn is also said to be the lord of the 11th house of the natural zodiac, Aquarius, a sign that deals with your investments and your returns, your fixed income, your thought process, a sign which deals with resourcefulness on your part, your name and fame that rises, a sign which also talks about your desires and your wants and demands in life. So this is what we take Saturn for us. We will now be moving on to Venus. For Venus, for us, Venus is beauty. Venus is relationships, romantic relationships also. And Venus is income. Well, when we talk about Venus being on a romantic note, I would also like to add a nakshatra factor to it. Venus rules one of the major nakshatras of the 5th house, that is Purva Phalguni of the natural zodiac. And Purva Phalguni gives many relationships, multiple relationships, and it also gives happy relationships. So people having planet there are bound to have relationships. So as we move ahead, Venus rules income. It is the ruler of the 2nd house of the natural zodiac. And Venus is also said to be the Vaidya or the doctor. In fact, Venus is said to have the Sanjeevani Bhuti, the mantra of resurrecting people. So that also makes it a doctor par excellence. And Venus represents a professional partners in life also. Why? Because Venus rules the 7th house of the natural zodiac. Bringing us to Libra, it talks about your ability, oratorship, to gain much space in life. And Venus also is a rational planet because it is said to be the Daitya Guru. Venus also is, as it is the ruler of the 2nd house of the natural zodiac, income, knowledge, our relationships with our family members, and also the family we develop also come into play. The 7th house we've already seen is all about partners. It is all about your professional life also. When we're talking about partners, one more thing with the seventh house, one more thing we need to understand, that it also represents your path in life, or rather the way you're going to take up, how you're going to put yourself on a platform for others to see, not judge you, but for others to see where you can reach. So when we take the 10 and the 7 combination also of Saturn and Venus, we see that it puts you on a platform as compared to others. It gives you a platform to sustain yourself. Depending on which house it is present, it will tell you the kind of platform you will get in life. So keeping in certain combinations, be it 11 and 7, where you get a steady income from partnership, or be it 2 and 11, where you know that money can never be a problem for you because the natural zodiac sustains you unconditionally. And we can also talk about the 10 and the 2 axis, where you know that if you are in a good position, you will get a lot of money out of it. Again, Saturn is the Karaka for the 12th house, and Venus gets exalted in the 12th house. If Saturn and Venus are together for people in the 12th house, you may get habits where you are spending a lot of money, but you can also be a very charitable person. So let us talk. In the 12th house, it can also show moving away from a loved one or a break in partnership, because again, the 7th lord of the natural zodiac in the 12th house says that you could be moving away or having a loss of partnership. So why no problem with finance is something that I've said earlier, but I'd repeat it, because Venus is the 2nd lord of money. 11th house is Saturn's house of the natural zodiac. It says money at regular intervals and money periodically. So these people will always get money periodically and consistently for their use. We talk about a consistent health issue. Yes, that is also can be seen. Why so? Because 2nd house of the zodiac is Maraka house. Venus is Maraka par excellence because it is the 2nd and the 11th lord of the natural zodiac. Saturn is the 11th lord, the Badhaka of the natural zodiac. So if you have an health issue, Saturn, which is the 11th lord of the natural zodiac, does not allow those health issues to be solved, and that health issues becomes a constant pain in your life. Similarly, we see that they may give you multiple relationships. Saturn is the lord of the 11th house. 11th house gives multiplicity, and Venus represents relationships. Also, because Saturn also represents the 10th house, you may also have relationships with people in your workplace also. Relationship with beautiful elderly ladies. As you mentioned earlier, Venus is beauty and Saturn is old. So there could be a relationship with beautiful elderly people, gender, for men, it is ladies, and for ladies, it could be men also. And Saturn is dark. Venus gives beauty. So the person who has this in their chart can have a very attractive face, albeit they could be dark looking. And we have to take the Deshkal path. So dark could be in sense with the country that you live in. And you can also get help in your business from older people or ladies, because Saturn, as I repeat again, is old, and business is represented by your 7th house, and monies again represent by your 2nd house. So people who are older to you, ladies who are older to you, men also included, would be the one to help you, assist you in your business. Because Saturn represents delay, and the Karaka, the natural Karaka for marriage is Venus. So such people who have this in their chart could have a delay in their marriages compared to the norms. And there could be long-term investments. As far as finance is concerned, you can have long-term investments which will give you results. Why? Because 11th house talks about long-term investments, which is again Saturn's genre, Saturn's area, and results can be seen in the 4th from that house. That is typically the 2nd house. So means you get monies, you get your return on investments, ROI, from this combination on a long-term basis. Rather, I would suggest that please don't go for the share market bit when you have this in your chart, and invest in long-term issues. We can also say that such a person has an eye for beauty, because again, Venus is beauty and Saturn is old. So such a person will have a keen eye, especially if this combination is in your 5th house. If this combination is in your 7th house, then you can do a business on antique things, antique furnitures, because uh, Saturn also represents wood. So these people can also do a lot of these antique business too. If you have this in your 5th house, you could also be extremely athletic, or you can have an athletic body that can be well appreciated by people. And Saturn is also the blue collared people. Venus gives you comforts, so you can have a lot of people working under you, thereby making your life much more comfortable as compared to others. Honored by others. 2nd house is your name and fame. 7th house is a public platform. To add to this combination, we have Saturn, the lord of your 10th house, which is your Karmakaraka, and the 11th house as such is the kind of social circle you maintain, the kind of people you associate with. So amongst those people at your workplace, there is a huge chance that you're honored, you're respected, and you are given a lot of importance. Then we see that a good post in the government is also a possibility. Why? Because the 10th house typically represents the government posts. Saturn, if it aspects the 10th house, if it is associated with the 10th house, gives you a good post. And Venus is the minister. So you can have a post of a minister in the government. Venus is the teacher, guru of the Daityas. You can have a post as a lecturer in the government colleges. Venus is a doctor. So you can also hold a post of a doctor in one of, or a nurse for that matter, because if it's a lady who has this combination, she can be either a doctor or a nurse, any which of it in the in the government organization. And these people will be fond of traveling, because the 7th house and the 11th house of the natural zodiac are the airy signs. So these people would want to travel, expand their thought process by way of traveling. Comfortable life, 2nd house and 10th house are the arthasthanas. And most of us want to work hard so that we can lead a comfortable life. So these people will have a comfortable life. If more so, if this combination is in the 4th house, then it also aspects the 10th house. The 4th house is a place where Venus gets Digbali, and Saturn then gets to aspect the 10th house, which is its own house in the natural zodiac. A good place. And I would say such a people will feel very comfortable in their house. They will have beautiful houses, which may be antique or ancient in ancient houses, or have a decor or a feel of an old house, but still a very luxurious kind of a house that they would be living in. And when we talk about the reputed health surgeon, yes, as I said, because 11th house gives you repute, 10th house gives you work, the 7th house gives you a direction, a platform in life which makes you reputed. And let's not forget again that Venus has the Sanjeevani Vidya, or has the repute of a surgeon. There are many more things that we can talk about this combination, which will come just by knowing the Karakas and just by knowing the houses that they facilitate. Again, as I move towards the nakshatras, there are so many nakshatras which occupy these 4 houses of the natural zodiac. Many of them, for example, Sadish, it talks about being one of the beautiful doctors. It talks about being under control, or rather keeping things under control, and it talks about giving and gifting. So or Rohini for that matter, which is in the 2nd house of the natural zodiac, it talks about growth, it talks about development, it talks about creativity, and it also talks about beauty, which Venus signifies. So we take in a couple of charts. We take in the chart of Gerard Ford. Gerard Ford had taken over the government, or he had moved in, sworn in as the president of America when Richard Nixon had to resign. And then he carried forward a lot of policies and did a good work. After he lost the elections this second time, he moved on to teaching and lecturing in many institutes on finance. So we need to understand that this combination here is a very beautiful combination, more so because this is exactly the copy of the Kalpurush Kundali, with the Lagna being in the sign of Aries. This combination holds a lot of water, especially if it is found in the second house, it is found in the fourth house, in the fifth house, the seventh house, 10th house, or 11th house. And if it is found in the signs of Taurus, in the sign of Cancer, because in the sign of Cancer, Venus gets gets Digbali, and Saturn gets to aspect its own house. In the fifth house, because that is the house which is related to finance. If it takes place in the seventh house, then the sign of Libra, then we know that it is Venus's own house, and Saturn here is exalted. In the 10th house of the natural zodiac, that is in Capricorn, or for that matter, in the sign of Aquarius, and finally in the sign of Pisces also. Why so? Because in Pisces, Venus gets exalted and Saturn is said to be the Karaka of the 12th house. So we take in another chart where we see, and continuing with Gerald's chart, we see that he took up teaching finance or lecturing on finance, and he was also instrumental in being a consultant to many big companies, finance being the key word for him. And he never shied from his duty as the president of a country when he had to take over. So all these things of being a good worker, of being having your values in place, can be seen in his chart, and finance being a very strong motivating force in his chart can also be seen. As an example, I have this chart of a person who works in a government college and is also a nurse. She had a delay in her marriage, but now is in happy married life, and she also has a lot of income, properly investment from other sources to have a good income source. Moreover, she is dark but beautiful to look at. So we see this combination yields beautiful results. The thing is, we need to see how and where, depending upon the placement of Saturn and Venus. Here in her chart, we saw that Saturn was placed in the 10th house and was exalted. In the chart of Gerald, we saw that it was the Lord of the 10th house with the second Lord, giving him an instrumental say in the government policies. So all these things can be seen beautifully. Till we meet with you again, stay safe, stay happy.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.